Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing. All right. Hopefully that's good. I am. Okay, I am trying a slightly different audio setting, so hopefully that's loud enough. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I was just studying the chart a little bit, and I thought I would just go ahead and record it just to have it captured. Um, I am on a monthly chart here, and I was just measuring the range of June's monthly candle from the high to the low. And these are the gradients. The red line is the exact midpoint. And then these green lines are the buy side liquidity that I'm targeting on the daily chart. These equal highs right here. Um, so that means I think it's going to go above the liquidity here. So this first octant is obvious. I don't think necessarily that this will stop price or anything, but this next one would be interesting. And then maybe even the exact midpoint of these two. But I just wanted to, I mean, it could go to all-time highs, but I'm just trying to measure its ability to get up into this candle's range. And that candle does include the all-time high. So that's, I'm not using this one because it's practically already, I mean, it's so deep into it. Let's see. I just turn all these on real quick and we'll make it like a weird color, just like blue, I guess. It only has this next octant to get to. It's overlapping this one as well. And I'm already expecting it to go above that because the liquidity is sitting here. So this one just isn't as useful to me. So I'm using the next one. It's higher. And it includes the all-time high. So there's also the wick here, but I'm just a little more interested in the entire range of that candle. And so I was just about to uh, uh, go to the lower time frames and find levels that are anchored to the upper quadrant specifically, because it'll go above this one. Okay. So obviously there's this big inefficiency on the daily chart. It's like the first thing that is really catching my eye because the volume imbalance is bigger with this set enabled. I'm going to use that one. This is anchored to the octant and the upper quadrant. So this will be really important. Go ahead and create that as well. Okay. This octant is interesting to me. It's right next to the midpoint of this. Um, let's see. It's also anchored to this wick. This wick is anchored to it. There's a new day opening gap right here as well. I don't know if this candle, both these candles that make up that new day opening gap are anchored to that, so that's probably something to watch. Um, there's more buy side here, obviously. And then there's this wick, which is anchored to the upper octant. But right now, my initial focus is right here, obviously. Um, and also this inversion for value gap. If I switch the set again, there's a volume imbalance right there. Um, I guess this wick could be interesting. It is anchored to the octant, but I think it's going to go above the octant. So if it overcomes this wick, that's not that shocking to me. But if it stopped at the midpoint, that also wouldn't be too shocking either. Um, they could do whatever they want with non-farm payroll. This move up is absurd. I thought Monday was absurd. This is certainly absurd. Uh, currently in drawdown, um, which is unfortunate, but guess we'll just go ahead and There's also the consequence encroachment. This inversion is anchored to that, which is interesting. It's interesting. This is a level ICT has recently annotated. He used this level to target these lows, which is nice. Let's get busy. But I guess I'll jump down to a lower time frame here, kind of working around that midpoint. Um, I mean, we're in really, really close proximity to that buy side. There's a lot of stacked buy side in the market. So who knows how high it could go. ES, of course, has taken all-time highs, which is insane. I go to a 1 minute. I know I've said it the past 2 days, but the move Monday and the move Tuesday, it had absolutely no pullback during those 2 days, other than right here during the Asia session Monday night. Other than that, I mean, very insignificant pullbacks. There's also a small one here during London session Tuesday night. Um, the target, the draw is here. Um, this is certainly the higher time frame draw. They have left sell side down here, and there's this daily fair value gap. It's an inversion fair value gap now. So these lows and the daily fair value gap, I definitely want to be targeting that, but the buy side is right here. So I honestly don't know what it'll want to take first. I want to lean towards the buy side. I want to be leaning towards buy side getting taken first, because that's the higher time frame draw. It would be interesting if it kind of just snapped up here right at market open and didn't go lower at all. If it did that and then traded into this octant here, and then obviously the daily for value gap that we're trading into, which this isn't even labeled. Okay. I think that could set up something nice for a short down to the sell side. Sell side's also being generated right at the midpoint of June's monthly range. So, I mean, this is a huge inefficiency on the daily chart. Absolutely massive. It's really unfortunate I wasn't able to capture this because I predicted this. I called this on video last week before FOMC. I called it. Um, but that's the draw. ES has already taken all-time high. Um, my secondary draw, my kind of I don't know if I were to have two biases. My first initial main bias would be the daily buy side, and then my secondary one would be this inversion for value gap getting traded back to. So I'm getting rid of the lower quadrants or the lower gradients of this daily because this wick is in here anchored to that monthly octant. Okay. And this is a more specific area that I want to watch. And with all of it on there, it's far too busy. Let's see. I feel like I want to do something with this monthly. Guess maybe that's fine. It looks really busy, but I think on the 1 minute it'll be okay. That looks too much like a sell side. Guess we could do that maybe. And this I am gonna brighten up. I don't like how dull it looks. We'll do that. There we go. That pops nicely. That's also like smack dab in the middle of at range there. So yeah, I like the idea of watching this daily wick because it's right above the buy side and anchored to this monthly level. So I like that. Um, so I think that'll be pretty much it on that. Um, I just realized I did all that annotating on my kind of secondary chart here. Get rid of that for now. Right, so this wick I have annotated, but I think it's going to take these highs. So to have this, I guess I could use it to go higher. I'm going to copy paste, hopefully, all of those levels I just drew. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to get rid of this one. It's just too much. And the sell side there. Okay. All right. Not much to do now other than just wait. Um, so I'll annotate the new day open gap. Okay. Looks like it's going to be a small new day opening gap today. It's right over top the electronic trading hours opening gap, so that's interesting. Wait, that's not right. Oh my gosh. Wait, is that real? What the Wait, the market is still trading here. It just gapped. What? Oh my God. I misannotated that. I saw that gap yesterday and I was thinking like, oh, there's the electronic trading hours opening gap. There it is. And I just drew it because I saw this gap. But that is real. There, like, that was during trading hours. There wasn't a pause. This 4:59 is the close. And then 6 is the open. That's the hour pause. What? Bro. This is just a random, like, this is a volume imbalance, essentially. This is the opening gap. Wow, what? It just randomly gapped like that, right as the regular trading hours closed at 4:14. I guess 4:15 technically. That's so weird. It's very rare that you see a gap in price like that during normal like trading hours. I guess technically it's right as the regular trading hours are closing, but there wasn't a pause. Right here, there's an hour-long pause from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and so it creates a gap when it opens back up. This is just normal trading, and there's a gap like that. That's insane to me. I didn't even realize. We've used it, obviously. I'll keep it annotated because that's a obviously an interesting level to watch. But it is not the opening gap. That is just a random, weird, I don't know, just 1 minute gap. I don't even know. Technically, the volume imbalance, it wouldn't be annotated like that. It would be annotated like this. but I annotated it as though it was a gap. Very strange. I might just get rid of it. I'll get rid of it just to keep the chart focused, but that's really weird. Hmm. Can I clean this chart up a little bit? Like, what is that yellow? That's great. Get rid of that. I feel a lot better. I talked about this short that I took yesterday. Um, in fact, I'm going to get rid of this daily for value gap, and I'm just going to have annotated the end dog. New day, opening gap. What day is that? The 4th. Okay. And I guess I'll grade it. All right. So I took two shorts yesterday. One here, I jumped the gun on it, and then another here. I had a bad fill, but that doesn't matter. It obviously would have stopped with the best fill even. It doesn't matter. But I took shorts in here because there's sell side liquidity below the market. So just remember this very large gap. It's a very large gap open, okay? It's a premium gap, all right? And then we'll go back to electronic trading. That's the gap here, labeled as such. And then this is the market open at 9:30. They generated sell side here during the overnight session. That's really nice sell side. And then took some here, but there's really smooth lows here, equal lows here and here. Okay. And then there's this bull flag at the high of this daily for value gap. There's a little shadow right there. Um, and so I wanted to fade this bull flag and target the sell side and a potential mid gap closure. So whenever it ripped like this immediately without taking any sell side, um, I was all over this short. But then look what they did. That's manipulation. It I'm certain it's manipulation. And I said that whenever there's a big gap with sell side and it doesn't take any sell side at open and it just pops even higher, that sets up really nicely for shorts. And I feel really happy and I guess confident in that bias that I had because I just watched an ICT video last night and he practically repeated what I said word for word. Because he was talking about a short setup that he took and he was explaining the logic behind it. And the logic was sell side below the market, large premium gap, and then at open, it runs even higher. immediately without taking sell side. And then he used some some levels different from what I have here because it was a different setup. Um, and it worked beautifully. So I'm not upset about getting stopped yesterday. The only reason it didn't work in my mind is because non-farm payrolls on Friday, and they are just, I mean, just sending it without any logic behind it, really. I mean, there is a rhyme and reason to it, obviously. They're targeting the buy side up here, but they're doing it so quickly. It's like, it's almost shocking, I guess. Just how quickly they are running for the buy side. And they're doing it in a manipulative way because of how quick it's moving and how little sell side is actually getting taken. So I feel like this move is like kind of suspect. Like, oops, that's the wrong chart. Hold on. Let's try and go to a daily here. So the chart's going to be busy because it's a daily chart. Um, Try to just zoom into it. It's not too busy. It's really just, a couple few levels. But I guess we can get rid of this now, clean it a little bit. But dang, I got 10 minutes before market open. Long story short, last week I called a move higher for the buy side right here before FOMC. That's playing out great. The way I would have expected it during normal market conditions would be maybe offer a discount in this weekly wick. There's a weekly wick here. Offer a small discount and then kind of like grind higher, work this inefficiency a little bit, maybe get up above the inefficiency, maybe like take these highs really quickly, come back down, use this as inversion for value gap, and then have a second rally up to the buy side, like kind of a more strategic, I don't know, methodical move up. Whereas this did not offer discount. It offered a very, very, very small discount off this daily wick here. And then I guess on this down close candle, it offered a small discount, but that was before the weekly wick had formed even. um, really offered no discount, and it has just ripped. And the range of this candle is insane. Okay. And it's just running with very little, like, it's just, I don't know, not strategic, I guess. They're not manipulating anything on the way. They're just running, 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 getting to this buy side as quickly as possible. It's only Wednesday, and they're about to take this buy side. I figured maybe, we start grinding, and then maybe non-farm payroll, they like use that as excuse to like run it aggressively higher. But because it's already doing that, uh, maybe they'll use non-farm to take out all-time high. Maybe they'll run against this move because this move is extremely inefficient, I guess is a good way to put it. It's very inefficient. Um, so I don't know what they're going to do with non-farm, but because the way this is running, this feels like manipulation. And it's like, why are they getting here so fast? Why are they taking it there so quickly? It is what's kind of strange to me. So I think non-farm is going to be really interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if it runs back over top this move because there's a lot of people going long right now. So Mm. I like the sell side down here. Um, oh, look, there's more of it right there. Really like the sell side. I'm honestly not too sure what they'll want to take first. I wish I had a good idea about that. Guess I'll just have to wait and see. Let's see, 71 and a half, 71 three quarters, 38 even, 38 and a quarter. So per value gap, 5 minute per value gap right there. Could not reach the midpoint. It is a reclaimed sell side inefficiency, bearish fair value gap. Took some minor sell side here. This inefficiency will probably be something to watch. There's medium impact news at 10 o'clock. As well. I have that on my notepad, but I figured I'll just throw it here. You know what? Nah, I'll rely on my notepad. Make a habit of looking at that instead. Keep my chart clean. And then Trump has a speech at 4:30, so hopefully that doesn't affect price action too much. This just caught my eye. It could very easily run out all the buy side first. That is the daily draw. That's the daily bias. So that I should be leaning towards that. as an initial draw. Market opens in 10 seconds. It's popping before market open, which is interesting. Took a minor sell side and then popped up. Taking that minor. So now this would be an inversion for value gap here. Bullish inversion. Interesting, it rallied initially. That did create an actual new day opening gap. I'll just eyeball it for now. Dude, that's the new day gap and all the gradients. Respected that midpoint there. Kind of like the idea of it just running buy side. Will it run for that? That'd be crazy. I'm very skeptical getting in along so early, but it's been ridiculously bullish. Forgot to look at ES. I mean, look at, dude, look at ES. Just chilling at all-time highs. Isn't that crazy? It is respecting the event horizon of these two levels. Just gonna roughly eyeball it here. Just about like that. It's that mid-gap closure. Swept that high, left that intact, which is interesting, and we have sell side. Still closing above the midpoint of that 5-minute gap. I like that it's closing below the event horizon. Well, we'll see if it does. Close below it last second. That's that minor buy side. And then that's the big boy target. Okay, just took the minor. Does it come back down and close below the mean? If it comes back down and closes below the mean threshold or the event horizon after sweeping that, that would be really interesting. Also watching the 5-second chart. It's that buy side. Seems bullish. Definitely seems bullish. I misannotated the electronic trading hours gap with that random gap that we had. We went to the midpoint right there, right before 9:30, and ripped off that. And then ICT just talked about this being a hangman, I believe he calls it, where you get a body below a midpoint or a key level, and then it comes down and wicks through that, and then snaps back up. Ooh, look at, oh my gosh, look at that. That's crazy. But that's basically what happened here. Ooh, the speed that that came back down is insane. That is insane. Got a body up above that liquidity and tanked. Get rid of this one. A lot of speed there. Um, really interesting. It didn't get filled there. Came up and touched it, did not fill. Okay, there's the fill. Wow. I'm gonna put it above this Wix midpoint. That's not good. That's an insane retracement. It'd be really nice if it closed below this. Eh, it could have done it and it chose not to. I really like the sell side down here. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the stop out. Goodness gracious. Let's see. Like the sell side below the market. I like that that wicked like that. I was trying to aim for this wick here. Got kind of a bad fill, but I think that's just manipulation. Respected that Octant failed to reach the event horizon, and then we still have the sell side down there. Lots of sell side on ES as well. Needs to close below the midpoint of that wick. It needs to. Needs to do it. Well, uh, I've just been wrong all week. I'm trying to be more confident this week, but I've just been wrong this week. So I don't know. If I would have been this aggressive with entries last week and the week before, I would have made an amazing profit. And now that I'm trying to like be more confident, I've been wrong all week. It like it's so hard. two bodies closing above that event horizon, so that means that decent odds of getting up to that buy side. I don't know. Maybe I should have just stuck with the that daily draw, but yeah, the sell side just seems way too obvious to me. It's so obvious. There's a bearish S&T on ES right now as well. I like that it respected that octant, and then we swept this high. This would be inversion for value gap. But like this seems weak. It seems very weak. Um, I don't know. It's just unfortunate. I don't know what to do. I'm trying not to chase this thing, and there's obvious sell side below the market, and it seems as though it wants to go lower. But I've already been wrong twice, and I don't want to like revenge trade or whatever. I like that it respected that after taking the buy side. I don't know. It's just not good market conditions, I guess. I don't know. It's so frustrating. Yeah, ES is like tanking and NQ isn't. Had I taken the same trade on ES, of course, right? Probably looking better. Almost macro time. I really like it's holding that. The only reason these bodies would go above it would be to take the buy side. If we have candlesticks respecting it after buy side being taken, that looks weak to me. If it closes above that again, I'm just going to expect this buy side to get taken. Yeah, so it's probably just going to go to the buy side. Hmm. This week has been so hard. It's been so fucking hard. Really, really frustrated. There's some minor buy side where my horizontal line was resting. Right there. Oh, that's interesting. I'm just now kind of spotting that. Look at that. See the wicks going up above that? That justifies these bodies here. That justifies it. Hmm. Trying to wait for a premium. I don't want to chase it. Okay. Want to see low resistance. I want it to run for the sell side down here extremely quickly. We're in macro. It is time to do it. I want this to be a breakaway gap. I don't want it to trade to that. I don't want that to happen. It needs to just run lower. I'm just going to have the midpoint here because the chart seems too busy. I'll have the high and low. It's nice having that opening price. What's ES doing? ES took some sell side. There's plenty more of it to be had on ES. So I don't want to hop out early. I mean, these lows are really obvious. It needs to kiss this and come straight back down. Straight back down, below this low. These equal lows here. Straight below those. It is high resistance so far this morning. So I need to be patient with the trade and with my stop loss. I need to be really patient. See, right there, I want to go to break even. I probably should, but I also want to try to be patient. I'll mitigate. Oh, I hate that huge wick. Wow. Okay, you know what? I'm flattening it. I'm done. I'm just getting out of that. That's insanely annoying. No. Like, I gotta draw a line. That sucks. That's exactly what I did not want to see. If it goes straight back down from there, whatever. That's fine. But insane. Oh, that's insane. All right. Well, I have 7 losses in a row. I'm just looking because I was trying to see what the loss was. I lost 96 cents on that last one. It's been so hard this week. It's been so challenging. I mean, it is stopping there, and that's great. That's really nice. It's coming back into that wick. That's good. But that was such a good move down below these lows. It's one thing if it leaves a wick. It's one thing if it, kind of closes above this candle's midpoint or whatever. But for it to close all the way back up here, above this wick's midpoint, is it above that wick's midpoint? Yeah, like a tick above that. That is absurd. Like, I know I just said I need to be patient because it's high resistance or whatever, but I also need to protect my capital, and that's unacceptable. I'm just not going to tolerate a candle like that after having such a nice move lower. Like, whatever, bro. I don't know. The Trump speeches today, isn't that perfect too? I mean, we're 2 days before non-farm payroll. It typically turns into high resistance the closer you get to non-farm payroll. And isn't it perfect that Trump has a speech 2 days before? I mean, anytime Trump has a speech, I've noticed the market is really shit to trade. Um, and that's been it this morning. I mean, oh my gosh, dude, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. What really sucks is just struggling like this for multiple days in a row because I don't know. It's hard not to feel like shit. And it's hard not to want to try to fix the loss, especially if you're, losing 3 days in a row. Um, it's really hard not to try to like do something about it. Because if I try to do something about it, I'll just make it worse. Look at this. I'm very happy getting out where I did. Um, Gosh, I'm just so annoyed. So, I'll be struggling, right? Like Monday, had the losses. Tuesday, I had the losses. And now today. Every morning when I go in, I usually have a pretty good, like, mental reset. Like, I feel confident. I'm not feeling timid or, I'm probably just gonna lose again today. Like, I'm not thinking anything like that. I'm feeling like reset. Like, today is going to be much better than yesterday type of mindset. But then whenever you just get knocked down again like this, like especially multiple days in a row, it's just really demoralizing because it starts to turn into like, well, tomorrow, it's like I probably shouldn't even trade tomorrow. Maybe I shouldn't have even have traded today. I know that it's a decent chance of high resistance. I don't know. It just feels like anytime I gain any sort of confidence, it is destroyed. Just like all the people trying to go along just now just got destroyed with that win. um, yeah, and like I can I don't know. I feel like I have pretty good mental fortitude because I lost Monday and Tuesday, and then this morning I was feeling fine. Like I wasn't feeling stress. I was excited. I was excited to have a new trading day. I was excited for the sell side. I thought that was like just setting up for something really nice. And I think it probably will go take it, but this is how it's going to behave while doing it. And it's too volatile. If I was up in profit on the week and I could afford to leave a stop loss at this high and just let it do this crap up until it wanted to go take it, that's one thing. But because I'm already down on the week, I don't need to have a third trade on. I already tried twice. They both failed. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. Like, whatever. It's just frustrating. This is really typical. Leading up to non-farm. It's really, really typical. Gosh. I'm frustrated. I know I'm so close to being able to just nail this. So there's this buy side, right? I have this one annotated. Let me just make sure that's properly. Okay, I have that one annotated. This was the initial market's tanking, by the way. This was the initial buy side I had annotated. And then off screen on my other monitor, I noted this one because it's kind of like one, two, three stacked highs. I should probably also have this one annotated as well because that can provide a lot of context. So now that they're all annotated, we'll go back over here. Okay. Um, Back to a 1 minute. Isn't that nice? My stop would not have been hit. My initial stop loss would not have been hit. It swept the buy side, and then now it's running for sell side. I'm really confident in it taking at least this low. It might not take this low because of the way that it is today. In a normal day, it would run all of this out, and maybe even this and all that. But because it's high resistance, it could tip one or two of these lows and then snap back up into the range. It left buy side here. Anyway, I had this one annotated, and I had the mean threshold of, I believe it was here to the highest one, right? Is that the highest one? Yes. I guess the event horizon. So I had event horizon here, okay, right there. And the body closed above it here. But I initially, this buy side liquidity was not annotated on my chart. So if this is gone, I'll just make it a different color. I don't want to like get rid of it. Let's see here. Make it like gray. Okay. So pretend it wasn't there. You can still kind of see it. But this is basically what the chart looked like. Pretend this is invisible. It's closing above the mean threshold. And so it seems bullish. And I'm thinking, okay, this initial one I was okay with because there's the buy side liquidity here. It's all the same logic. It's like repeating logic. Okay. This was okay with me because it formed buy side and it was taking buy side. All right. When it comes back down, these two candles here respect that event horizon. And I'm thinking, okay, great. If it continues to do that and gets below this inversion, that's good for shorts. But then this candle came up and closed above that mean threshold again. And it did it without even taking the buy side. So now I'm thinking, okay, with these two closes, that's telling me it wants to go up to this higher buy side, right? No, because if I had this one annotated, that changes the context, doesn't it? Why would it be getting bodies closing above this mean threshold? Because it's reaching for buy side here. Are the bodies closing above the buy side? No. What about the mean threshold of these two levels, or the event horizon of these two levels? It's closing below that. This buy side here justifies the bodies closing above this here. And the wicks, the bodies are still closing below this level. And the wicks are only being allowed to go up above it. So that changes the entire context. And I didn't have this annotated initially. So that's unfortunate. And then it failed to reach that one. And then we have a break in structure, and then OTE, order block. I think that's a rejection block, right? Rejection block there. But I mean, look at this high resistance. Went to the midpoint. It just goes to extremes like over and over, doesn't it? I'm really confident in at a bare minimum the low of the low of day getting taken here. This is the low of like the regular trading hours. I'm confident in that. Um, That's typical. I mean, I should know by now that today's probably going to be high resistance, and I need to be a little more selective. But I mean, it's just frustrating because had I had this level annotated, that changes the whole entire context as to what is happening right here. And my trading could have looked completely different had I just had this level in mind and not just this higher one. Because I had like the really, really low one right here, and then the one that was really, really high. But then there's stuff in between that adds more context. And that sweep justifies the bodies doing what they're doing here. And this wick was respected as well. So, yeah. And then this was a great entry. I really like my entry here at the low of that daily for value gap. I timed it and got a decent fill. Um, and my stop was up here. And that's a nice move. Um, but of course, I didn't want it. After this candle came in, it's pretty likely I'll get some drawdown, and I didn't want to deal with that. I really didn't. So I just I took it off for break even. So, anyways, we'll get rid of that. And yeah, having these buy side levels, it would have been so much like because I had like the major buy side. I'm never gonna find it on the 1 minute chart. I had this buy side annotated. I just didn't have this one or this one. I had this one, but just not these two leading up to it. And that would have just added so much more context. I needed to really, I don't know, just have those annotated. That would have helped a lot, I think. Um, it is tough. Just gonna get rid of these. I really can't let it like get me down, I guess. Because this is an extremely challenging week. Um, extremely challenging. When it just goes straight up in one direction, that is hard to trade. And now we're into high resistance. Why? Non-farms on Friday. It is Wednesday. Trump is even speaking today at 4:30. So, oh, that's nice. 10 o'clock sent us lower. Just a nice signature to see. There's medium impact at 10 as well, but that doesn't matter. At 10 o'clock, you'll get a spooling, an algorithmic move, and so that's nice. Right at 10 there, below the sell side. Look at that. Went to that level there. It just goes to like the extreme in high resistance. Like whatever your expectation is in high resistance, you should just double it. Um, like my expectation was this be a breakaway gap, leave it open, run away. That was my expectation. Because it's high resistance, double it. What would that look like? What is the next highest PDA rate to watch? This wick, I guess, right? That wick. So maybe demand, it just doesn't go above that midpoint of that wick, right? Because that would be the next, because the high of that inefficiency is here. What's the next one? This wick. I guess you could view the order block as well. Maybe the order block or the rejection block. And then maybe when you're here, you're wanting to short a retracement, maybe. Maybe you want to use this wick or this inefficiency, right? Or maybe even this one. In a normal day, it might even just use this one here and then head lower. Nope, go to the next one. What's the next one? This one, order block, and then the low, the daily. That's the next one. So just, I feel like that might be a good rule of thumb uh, in a high resistance day. And then any target, cut in half. If you have a target, cut in half. What's your target? These lows? Okay, now this one. But it didn't even go there. So what's the lowest hanging fruit of that? Uh, the midpoint of that wick, and then that's where it went. I was pending to something, so I just left the chart up. But I don't really care to trade anymore today. I'm a little upset about the losses. That like it's just stacking up. Um, I just lack experience. Um, it's non-farm payroll week. That I believe is why it's been so hard. Um, the straight up move has been really, really challenging. This is challenging to trade for me. I already struggle on getting in on a continuation. And whenever it's straight like that, it's very hard. And then today, they left a real obvious sell side, but it's high resistance now. Trump has a speech at the end of the day, and it's Wednesday on a non-farm payroll week. With that news coming out Friday, obviously. Um, I still feel confident in these lows, but as you can see, it's going to take a long time to get there, or maybe not a long time. It might happen soon, but point being, they're going to take it when they want to take it, and there's no way to know when. And I don't want to trade this. I don't need to. Um, had I just been a little more specific on these liquidity pools here with my annotations, the morning could have been drastically different. Um, I know that all it takes is one trade to play out the way that I think it should. All it takes is one good trade, and all of the loss and stress of this week can be wiped away. There's two mindsets, a correct mindset and then a incorrect mindset to have with that statement. The incorrect one would be, I only need one good one. Let me take as many as possible. No, because then you might turn it into you need two or three good ones. The proper mindset would be, I only need one, so I'll be patient and I don't need to trade anymore today, and I can just trade tomorrow. And why can I be patient and wait? Because I only need one. So um, it's interesting that it came up and kissed this fair value gap and did not fill it in, and then immediately came down and then closed below this midpoint. I think they'll run out at least this low, if not this low as well. I'm not necessarily confident it's going to have a low resistance run just because, what's stopping it from taking an internal low and then snapping back up into the range and doing more of this? Nothing. But because it respected this inefficiency and got a close below that midpoint, that seems like low resistance. So I think that it may now tip either this low or that low. But my expectations are really low. Um, there it is. So this entry would have actually been a profitable entry. The stop was up here, but you would have had to wait so long. And whenever this move happens, you've got to go to break even, right? You've got to once this move happens. They would have tipped you right there. You would have had to wait so long, and it still hasn't even met that. That's where my full target was. if I was in it, I would be getting out. I would just get out right here. I don't even care that it's up above this high now. I would just want to get out because nothing is stopping it from snapping back up here. It's fun to watch. High resistance days are weird because there are moments where it's really fun to watch, but then there's a lot of moments like this where it's like nothing's happening and it's extremely boring. um, this has been a really key level, this here, that I annotated before market open. It used it here and here, and now we're coming up to it. Uh, in a normal market condition, it would be a reclaimed bearish inversion for value gap. But it's interesting it's stopping there, isn't it? Even if it's just for a moment. Hmm. Curious to see where the midpoint of that wick lies. That's nice. They kept all the bodies below that. That's a nice signature. Tipped this swing high, then sent it lower right before 1020. It'd be really interesting if this turned into a continuation and came down and took out these lows because that would kind of prove what I was saying earlier, where if you have some sort of expectation, double it for your entry, and then for your target, cut it in half. I feel like that is a great mindset to have during high resistance days. Because let's say you were wanting to go short for whatever reason. Let's say you're targeting the lows. Maybe on a normal day, you'd want to use this 5 minute inversion. Or I guess it's a reclaim bearish actually. Doesn't matter. Closes below it. You're wanting to use this premium array to get in short. Maybe you could do that on a normal day. Or maybe this one, because it's about halfway. It's like in a premium of this range. So maybe you're targeting this one instead, which it did respect. But the better thing to do is just to double it. Like go to the next premium array. So if you're looking at this one, maybe look at this one. If you're looking at this one, look at this inefficiency there. And then that's also that wick there. Um, with that kind of mindset on these types of days, just going to the next PD array. So you're looking at this one. What's the next one? This. And then maybe even go to the extreme of that. What would that be? The high. And then that there's your precision. And then target, maybe you're targeting this low, right? These stack lows. Cut your target in half. What would that be? Maybe the order block instead. And then there you go. Um, or be aggressive with the stop. But of course, on these types of days, if you're aggressive with the stop, you're going to get stopped out break even a lot. Um, but if you got a precise entry like that, you might be okay. But it's just challenging. It's really, really challenging. Just going to take its sweet time. It's going to get there when it wants to get there. It's forming a lot of buy side below the major buy side. So it's interesting. Because this traded up through this array and then closed back down below it, I want it to respect the lower half now and then make a run for this low. If it comes back up and closes above this midpoint, I think it could chop uh, in this range longer, or maybe come back up and take an internal high. Immediate rebalance, failed to reach it. Just about 10:30. There you go. Failed to reach it. That's even better, right? Immediate rebalance, and it ran lower. This inefficiency was formed at 7, so that's important. And it's right below the liquidity, so that's why I have that annotated. People will never understand how hard this is. I took a loss going short here. I took a loss going short here. I was aiming for this wick. And then I went short right here with a stop up here. And that's my target. But guess what? I didn't get that because I got stopped out break even because it's high resistance. At least today I was correct on the bias. Execution was lacking. I really should have expected high resistance. Because we are getting closer to Friday, which is non-farm, and Trump has a speech today. I feel like Trump having a speech at the end of the day is like the red flag or the warning that if you thought today might be high resistance liquidity, um, like if you're thinking kind of, maybe today will be high resistance because Trump is speaking, I feel like that increases the odds of high resistance significantly. All of a sudden, getting a low resistance run down to sell side. All of a sudden. The lunch macro could be interesting. We could see a run back up for all this buy side for the lunch macro. I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm going to take a break and maybe I'll come back for the lunch macro. I like the buy side it generated here, and it left the major buy side. It could be that the chart cleans up a lot for the lunch macro. Um, and then just kind of has an easy run back up to the highs. I could see that happening. Get rid of that one. Clean up the chart a little bit. It's so hard to keep my chart clean but still have all the significant levels that I want to have on it. It's a very fine balance. It's much more sell side. We could leave some sell side because we are very bullish on the higher time frame. This is good enough for me. I am happy I called the direction. Again, I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard because today I'm correct, but I was way wrong on my approach. I should have been very selective because it was very high odds of high resistance today. Had I waited for this and had I had this annotated as well, it could have been a drastically different day today. Um, it really could have been. That's a nice entry here, I think. This is nice because it took minor buy side, or sell side rather, and then it left sell side right there and stacked more there. Then it offered a premium. So I think that's kind of nice. Just this little run right here. But yeah, I'm going to take a break.